Today, we're introducing our final installment in the series, An Anatomy of an Affair, where we have taken a deep dive into really trying to understand why someone would choose to have an affair and the consequences that accompany that choice. In this exclusive interview, a young woman bravely opens up to us about her personal journey and the emotional intricacies and complexities that led her to engage in an affair. She candidly shares the pivotal moments and the decisions that shaped her path, offering a raw and unfiltered perspective on the inner workings of desire, temptation, and the consequences. So, let's get ready to explore the depths of human nature as we bring this compelling series to a thought-provoking conclusion. And I really thank you for joining me during this series. I know this has not been an easy series to listen to. I am sure that it has been triggering for some of us. And if it has been triggering, please reach out to someone in your space that can be supportive of you. Or if you feel like therapy would be a great route for you to take, don't hesitate to consider that and know what your resources are and your options. And so I thank you again. During this first video, we're going to listen for the whys as this young woman shares her story with us about her choice to engage in an affair. I really want you to listen for the issues that we've talked about during this entire month. Listen for those unmet needs, the emotional disconnection, the personal vulnerabilities, the communication issues that may have been there, stressors and life transitions. All of those ingredients that we discussed are definitely here in this story, and I want you to pay attention to how she made this choice.
A lot of things happened. I met my ex-husband when I was 19. I was young, gullible, all the above. And he was a patient where I worked. And, we flirted, that was innocent. And come to find out, we lived like right up the street from each other. It was crazy. Mm-hmm. And so we started dating. And a year and a half, 2 years into our relationship, I ended up getting pregnant with my daughter. And he did something on that. When I found out I was pregnant, he left and he was gone for a couple of hours. And I remember telling him, if you can't do this, I know somebody who will. He held on to that up until the point where we end up splitting. I was just saying it just to be saying. I ain't know nobody. I just said it, being smart, being that little 19-year-old, like, hey, Things started to transpire. When I was pregnant with my daughter, due any day, he ended up leaving and going to a pool hall. And I had no car, no nothing. He was gone all the way until 8 o'clock the next morning. And then so from there, the red flags were thrown in my face left and right, but I ignored them because I'm like, I'm pregnant with this kid. I want this relationship to work. It's going to get better. It was very difficult being married to him and living in the shadow of a marriage. And we used to argue about a lot. I used to tell him I want affection. His affection was through sex. That's not my love language. I know if sex is part of a marriage, I'll give it to you. But I still need what I need as my own individual person. And he did not budge when it came to that. And I tried to be vocal and tried to tell him what I needed. He wasn't listening. So now it was no more me telling him how I feel. Just deal with it. And that's what I did.
But anybody?
No.
No friends? No family?
I didn't talk to I talked to a few of my friends. I didn't really talk to my family about it. And we'll get into that later. But I felt like I could go to work and talk about it a little bit, but not too much, because I knew I was still going to stay with him. What was the point of me saying anything to anybody else or getting any advice? I had kids with this man. I love this man. One day he gonna change. He gonna see. And so after his mom and them came and he made me look like a plum fool, that's when I said, just forget about it. Whatever. I don't care. I'm not gonna say anything about how I feel anymore. I'm just gonna come and live my day-to-day life. Wake up, go to work, come home. Wake up, go to work, come home. If you wanted to have sex, have sex. But I was dying on the inside because my needs were not being met. And so fast forward to 2014. In 2014, I had a coworker. She was my manager at the time. And they always did like little vacation stuff with, they were like, y'all should go with us, blah, blah, blah. So I started to become friends with her. My husband and her husband started to become friends. My husband and her husband worked together. So whenever I would go to work and confide, she would go home and talk to her husband about it. Her husband would tell my husband. So that whole shit just started to manifest.
Oh, no.
Yes.
So you thought you were talking to somebody and confiding in somebody that you trusted about what was happening. And she went back
and told
her husband, and her husband informed your husband about what was happening.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And so I was reading it was a problem. It was like, no matter what I did, everything that I did was a problem. I'm like, what is wrong with you? I go to work, I come home, you ain't spending time with me, and then she want to have sex. And that's it. He started going out more frequently. And my husband at that time was very into himself. Still is. Go get dressed, put on his hat, his shades, smelling good. He'll be in the mirror. He'll be doing one of these numbers, just arrogant. He was very arrogant. And if I'm about to go. Never forget. I caught myself trying to put a tracker on his phone because I wanted to see what the fuck he was doing. Put it on that too. 1960 Prospect Park. Never forget. I said, put my kids in bed, got in my car. He cut his phone off when he got there. And so I pulled up. I didn't have the courage to go in. So I sat in the car. I knew where he was parked at and all that. And so I started following him when he would leave because I was trying to figure out where he was going. And he saw me. 1960. And I pulled up next to him. I was mad. What the fuck you going to Prospect Park for? You fucking married.
Right.
With 3 kids. And can't even fucking take care of us, but you want to go over here and go spend some money on a goddamn drink? I said, no, it was my mindset, He started laughing in my face. That made me madder. It's okay. So I zoomed off, went home. It took him about an hour to get to the house. And I didn't want to let him in. But when I did let him in, he was just laughing in my face. And that's what he did a lot. When I would try to express how I felt about something, you crazy. Just laugh in my face. It's okay.
So he didn't take what you were saying seriously at all. He thought it was a joke.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah. Gotcha. So everything came to an head. And what made me cheat, my dad passed away. And I was at work when my mom called me. And she said, you need to get to the nursing home. They don't think that your dad's gonna make it. So I said, okay. I'm, trying to find my stuff. He called, did your mom call you? Yes. Okay. All right. I was making sure. You didn't say, I'll come pick you up from work. Are you okay to drive? When I got there, up until the point I knew my dad was going to pass. You know what I'm saying? It was just little things that was happening I was starting to see, And it took me hard. He didn't show no affection. He didn't console me. Nothing. Well, when I tell you nothing. That made me feel like pure shit.
So he didn't support you?
No.
He didn't nurture or love you through your grief?
No.
Nothing.
No. We got back home from the funeral and I had his obituary and I put it in my closet because we had separate closets. And I taped it. Come back home the next day, it was gone. And I said, what did you do with it? You don't need to sit up there and be looking at that every day. And this was my stepdad, by the way. He was not my real dad. But to me, he was my real dad. And then he tried to tarnish some things of my dad to say how my dad used to talk about me and my mom, and about how my mom wasn't a good role model, just certain things like that after my dad passed. Why would you say that? Regardless if he did tell you that. Because he's my stepdad. That doesn't give you the right to try to say something that's going to hurt me emotionally.
Yes. About somebody you love.
About somebody I love, who really told me that I didn't need to be with you in the first place because you weren't a provider. But I never told him that. It was like every chance that he got, he wanted to tear me down.
Mm-hmm.
Every single chance he got. And when my dad passed, that changed something in me. What he said, what my daddy had said about me, that changed a part of me.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot explain it. But I grew hatred for him at that point. And I made in my mind that every time that I've ever brought anything to you and you didn't listen, I'm going to show you how pain feels. That's why I decided to cheat.
So the final straw for you was your dad passing and him not showing up for you and being supportive.
Yes.
Not only that, but almost making the situation worse.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Yes. And now, when my dad passed in 2015, I didn't even cheat then, by the way. I didn't cheat until 2017.
Mm-hmm.
I just started to move differently on how I reacted to some of the things that he did. He put my children in the middle of our drama, right? Now, I was talking to people on the phone, I'm not gonna lie. He would leave and go out, I get on the phone. Back then they had chat lines. And I was really on the chat line talking to people trying to figure out like, what's wrong with me? What's so bad about me that I can't even keep my husband at home or wanted to be with me the right way, the way a man is supposed to.
That's how you felt like it was your fault.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you this. So how do you feel like you navigated those conflicting emotions and considerations when contemplating eventually engaging in an affair? Like, how did you?
I didn't.
Oh,
I was not thinking.
okay. So you didn't even think about it.
No.
You were reacting to straight
Everything was reaction.
emotions. Okay.
Everything was reactions. Everything was off of an emotion of how I felt. I did not think. I did.
Okay.
I did not care. I did.
Gotcha.
Because all that hurt that I had built up for so many years was coming out. And I was trying to tell him that I needed help. This is what you're not doing for me. I even told him I am getting depressed. He did not help me. I need help. You did not help me. And I feel like as a husband and wife, if you see your wife or you see your husband struggling about something, then you should be there to help them. And he did not help me. So what was I supposed to do? I'm gonna go crazy. I went crazy. I told myself if I would get married, I would always be that wife that I know I can be. That changed. I didn't give a shit. Because you don't give a shit about me. So why should I give a shit about anything in this house? I don't care at this point. Nothing matters. I don't matter. I only matter when I can provide. I only matter when you want me to open my legs. That's the only time I matter. You see? When a woman cheats, it's about it's mental. It's not fucking physical. It has nothing to do with physical, or you just have sex, you have sex. It is mental. It is what a woman is lacking. I'm lacking, I don't have the support. He's not showing up for me mentally. And I asked you, when I had your mom and your sister come, I asked you, and you still ignored me. Yeah, I could have walked away. Fuck, okay. I'm pretty sure people online, well, she should have walked away. It's not that fucking simple to walk away when you're 19 being with somebody for that fucking long. You gullible. And that's all you know. That's all I knew. So
even right now, as you talk about it, What are you feeling?
I'm still hurt by it. I don't care. You can go get remarried, whatever. Once you, 20 years is a long time.
20 years is a long time
To be with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
That type of hurt never goes away. You learn how to deal with it, and just like everything else, I push it to the back. And then when I talk about it, it comes back up. And then when I'm not going to talk about it no more, put it back in the back. Cheating is not something that I wanted to do. It's not something that I plan in the next 15 years. I'm going to do this. It was my depression of me losing my dad to a man that I was with who didn't see me. And I'm like, what am I doing? Okay, so now I'm gonna go ask somebody else what's wrong with me. And that's how that started. It was simple. Tension. My husband used to put phone recorders in my car. That's how he knew I would have been talking to somebody.
Oh, that's how the affair came to be known.
Yes.
So how long were you having an affair before he found out?
So when I say affair, I mean, can we call talking to somebody as an affair?
Were you emotionally connected with that person?
No.
Okay.
It was more so just talking.
Okay. You were just talking to somebody at that point.
Now, this was chat line phone.
This is chat line.
This chat line.
Okay.
This is me talking to somebody.
And that's where it started for you.
That's where it started.
Kind of getting your needs met outside of the marriage with the chat line.
Yes.
So, okay, so almost like a gateway.
Yes.
In a way.
Yeah.
Because now I'm comfortable talking to people.
Yeah. So I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Well, and then it just kind of progressed from there.
Gotcha.
So in 2017, we had, I want to say that was when Harvey hit, right?
Mm-hmm.
When Harvey hit. And that's when our issues started coming to a head, like major. This shit that it was little mediocre shit. I look at it as mediocre. I'm just having a conversation with somebody I already fucking know I ain't never met before. Okay, like, fuck, I just need some help. That's how I looked at it.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, I felt like he was recording me and putting recorders under the bed, putting recorders in my car. I was just like, you're doing too much.
What made you do that? Can you say why he was?
No.
Okay.
Because he was doing his shit.
Okay. So you're saying at this point, he did not know that you were talking to other people.
No.
It was just the fact that he was doing so much.
Yes.
He tried to put that on you.
Yes. And he used to tell me, I know you cheating on me. I know you. Before I even started talking to someone, I'm not cheating on you. What you talking about? Why are you putting this off on me? And I used to tell me, if you keep saying I'm cheating, I'm going to cheat on you. I'm going to do it. Tell him that. Stop. I'm not doing it. But I know you are. And I tell myself, let me tell you how I know. God, I used to have a dream every single day. Same woman, same place. Same woman, same place. Every single day. And I told him, I know you cheated on me. There's no way I'm going to have this dream every single day. I don't know what you're talking about. And then she comes up in 2014. And then the bitch came back up in 2017. Same woman. Same woman. Same woman. Mm-hmm. Now, Alan got involved with a coworker's cousin. And how that happened was we were scrolling through Facebook at work. And I was like, oh, who was that? She's like, that's my cousin. I said, girl, call her. She said, I'm not doing that. I said, that phone. And I called. I said, oh, hi, I'm such and such friend. How you doing? I just want to say you're cute.
Impulsive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we started talking on the phone. After that.
All it took was okay, let me ask you this. What, if anything happened that day that you can recall between you and your husband? Like that morning or that week or right before? What happened right before you said, oh, he's cute?
He told me previously we would pray every morning. And he told me that he did not want to pray with me no more. Oh. And I said, okay. And I walked out that door
Okay. And that happened that week.
Yes.
The week that you said,
Yeah.
oh, he's cute. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So that was almost like the straw that took it over
Yes.
to the other side.
But there were many more straws. There are many more straws.
Okay.
I remember being sick. I worked at a hospital, but I was sick and I had to go to work that day. By the time I came home, I felt worse. And I told him when I got home, I said, I don't feel good. Can you take me to the doctor? You've been at fucking work all day at the hospital. Why you just didn't go in? Because I had to go to work. I had a really bad congestion, so bad that they had to, it was green. I was how bad the congestion infection. And so they put me on some antibiotics. And when I got home, I called his sister on the way there and I told her what he told me. He said, I don't want to hear shit about them crocodile ass tears. You've been at work all day.
Wow.
I'm not going with you. So I got in my car, sick as a dog, talking to his sister on the phone on the way there. I don't know why you like that. Crying. And then I went right back like that never happened. So it was a lot of Campbells that broke, a lot of things that broke
Campbell's back. Okay, a lot of bags broken.
Yes.
A lot of Campbells.
Yes.
A lot of straws.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. So it just pushed you farther and farther
Yes.
into that
Yes.
dangerous territory.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
That's
Gotcha.
my emotional needs weren't being met. He did. It was just like I was there. I was just good to pay bills and nothing more. Really. And sex occasionally.
So no, okay. Okay. So you saw this guy.
Yes.
He caught your eye
Yes.
after you dealing with all of these things, and you had a conversation with him, and then it started from there.
My first mistake was I told him everything that my husband wasn't doing.
So it did start off as like emotional, and you talking and you confiding in him
Yes.
about your husband and him making you feel better.
Yes. So everything that my husband wasn't doing, he was doing.
Because he knew, well, you gave him the keys.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he knew what to do.
Exactly.
So you're sitting here talking to this person, sharing your pain, sharing what you've been through, and all the time he's just collecting that data.
Yeah, collecting it.
He's just
yeah.
been able to file
Created
that
a whole
away.
fucking diary. A whole diary on how I'm finna get this motherfucker. Yeah.
Gotcha. But you weren't even thinking about that when you were talking with him. It just felt good.
Yes. That's it.
Gotcha.
Yep. He did not live here. In Houston. He lived in Louisiana.
Okay.
And that was good for me because it was separation, you know. We talked every day. On the way to work, on the way from work, throughout the day. Every day. The emotional validation that I needed, that's what he provided. My husband wouldn't worry about me. He was doing his own thing.
So
he just never got caught the right way.
So he didn't notice.
Yeah,
That you
did.
Okay.
I think he did.
Okay.
You know, when I get home and take my clothes off from work, he would record my underwear. Oh yeah, it's bad. I know you haven't sex somebody. No. Yeah, I was just on that phone with that motherfucker and he was just talking some good cash shit. So my underwear was well, it was bad. You know? When I talk about it now, I look back at it like, God damn, like I was stupid.
Well,
You know?
Well, it sounds too like, even for you, okay, because we're gonna be raw, we're gonna talk. Even for you to sit here and say that you were that aroused,
Yes.
just talking with this man on the phone is significant about deprivation. Like that is deprivation of emotional needs, affection, intimacy, all of that. So that's indicative of like a drought
Yeah.
that you were experiencing because of all the things that you weren't getting there. Wow.
And so that was the instance where there was a death on the family on that side. Remind you, I was friends with his cousin, so we were close. So I was really going for her. but it was his children that passed away. And I went. And I told my husband, I'm going. I don't care what you say. And that was my first time that I said, basically, fuck you. Well, you've been saying fuck me all these years. I'm going.
So you chose to go and support him. Support your friend too, but you really went for him to show, okay.
Second mistake. Second mistake.
So at that point, how long had you been talking with him?
A few months.
A few months at that point. So is it fair to assume that we started to have like an emotional connection with this person? You started to care for him?
Yeah.
Even with no physical? Nothing at this point?
No.
Okay. How do you think that connection between you and him happened?
He was going through something too. He had a girlfriend.
Okay.
And he was going through stuff.
So y'all were supporting each other?
Trauma bond. Trauma bond. That's all it was. Nothing more, nothing less.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay. So how do you think you going to Louisiana changed even like the trajectory of what was happening between you and your lover?
Nothing.
It just made it worse.
Yeah.
So it intensified the relationship.
Okay. Okay. He saw me weak. He used my weakness against me. And I allowed it because I wasn't thinking.
Yeah.
And I regret that. I regret it.
Regret the affair or him seeing your weakness?
Both.
Say a little bit more about that.
I think what people need to realize is that when you're hurt, you don't involve somebody else because you're only going to get hurt at the end. Nothing good comes from an affair. Nothing. Everybody's affected. Your children are affected. Your husband, wife, especially when your husband or your wife bring their family members into the whole situation. Everybody is affected. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody's in it, you know. And I would say that for me, dealing with him, I was attracted and spiritual tied to him off of the things that he told me. It wasn't about what he did for me because he didn't do nothing. It's what he was telling me. I ought to move you down here and take care of you. You don't need to be dealing with that. I got you. If you were here, you don't have to work. You can do this, do that. It's the ideal that I was in love with. The ideal. The infatuation of the ideal. The story that was being told. Not the fucking reality. There's a difference.
So basically, he sold you a fantasy.
Yes.
And because I'm hearing a few things, right? I'm hearing you use this affair as a coping skill or a tool, rather. I'm hearing it be an escape for you. If an escape from your reality, even if it was just for a few minutes, it was something that was making you feel better.
Yeah.
And he played on that.
Yes.
And sold you a bill of goods.
Yeah.
And so it really wasn't about him and who he was. It was about what he could potentially be.
Yeah.
It was about that fantasy that okay, I received that.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep. And I was too naive to see like, girl, wake up, man. Wake up, right? Wake up. I was too far gone at the fact that my husband didn't love me. He didn't think I was shit. So what my kids were telling me he was saying about me, because my husband was confiding into our children. I'll never forget an instance where my kids needed school clothes. And so I asked my auntie, and my uncle for money. They gave it to me. But of course, you know, we have to go in the room and talk about everything in the office and stuff. And my kids, I told her dad what happened. And he was like, yeah, your mama slept with her uncle for money. I didn't do that. And so there was a lot of things that that my kids told me on how he felt about me, that I knew he never loved me.
Wow.
And so can you imagine staying in a relationship with somebody for that long until I started to get so depressed and started to make bad choices? This is how you've been feeling about me. This is why you didn't show up. I know you had to say somebody. No. Yeah, I was just on that phone with that motherfucker, and he was just talking some good cash shit. So my work slept in his back, you know. When I talk about it now, I look back at it like, God damn, like I was stupid.
Well,
You know?
Well, it sounds too like, even for you, okay, because we're gonna be raw, we're gonna talk. Even for you to sit here and say that you were that aroused,
Yes.
just talking with this man on the phone is significant about deprivation. Like, that is deprivation of emotional needs, affection, intimacy, all of that. So that's indicative of like a drought that you were experiencing because of all the things that you weren't getting there. Wow.
And so that was the instance where there was a death on the family on that side. Mind you, I was friends with his cousin, so we were close. So I was really going for her, but it was his children that passed away. And I went. And I told my husband, I'm going. I don't care what you say. And that was my first time that I said, basically, fuck you. When you've been saying fuck me all these years, I'm going.
So you chose to go and support him. Support your friend too, but you really went for him to show, okay.
Second mistake. Second mistake.
So at that point, how long had you been talking with him?
A few months.
A few months at that point. So is it fair to assume that we started to have like an emotional connection with this person? You started to care for him?
Yeah.
Even with no physical? No, nothing at this point?
No.
Okay. How do you think that connection between you and him happened?
He was going through something too. He had a girlfriend.
Okay.
And he was going through stuff.
So y'all were supporting each other?
Trauma bond. Trauma bond. Yeah. That's all it was. Nothing more, nothing less.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay. So how do you think you going to Louisiana changed even like the trajectory of what was happening between you and your lover? They just made it worse.
Yeah.
So it intensified the relationship.
Okay.
Okay.
He saw me weak. He used my weakness against me. And I allowed it because I wasn't thinking clearly.
Yeah.
And I regret that. I regret it.
Regret the affair or him seeing your weakness?
Both.
Say a little bit more about that.
I think what people need to realize is that when you're hurting, you don't involve somebody else because you're only going to get hurt at the end. Nothing good comes from an affair. Nothing. Everybody's affected. Your children are affected. Your husband, wife, especially when your husband or your wife bring their family members into the whole situation. Everybody is affected. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody's in it, you know. And I would say that for me, dealing with him, I was attracted and spiritual tied to him off of the things that he told me. It wasn't about what he did for me, because he didn't do nothing. It was what he was telling me. I ought to move you down here and take care of you. You don't need to be dealing with that. I got you. If you were here, you don't have to work. You can do this, do that. It's the ideal that I was in love with. The ideal. The infatuation of the ideal. The story that was being told. Not the fucking reality. There's a difference.
So basically, he sold you a fantasy.
Yes.
And because I'm hearing a few things, right? I'm hearing I'm hearing you use this affair as a coping skill, or a tool rather. I'm hearing it be an escape for you. An escape from your reality. And it was just for a few minutes. It was something that was making you feel better. And he played on it.
Yes.
And sold you a bill of goods.
Yes.
And so it really wasn't about him and who he was. It was about what he could potentially be. It was about that fantasy, that okay, I received that.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Good. And I was too naive to see like, girl, wake up.
Right.
Wake up.
Right.
Wake up. I was too far gone at the fact that my husband didn't love me. He didn't think I was shit. So what my kids were telling me he was saying about me, because my husband was confiding into our children. I'll never forget an instance where my kids needed school clothes. And so I asked my auntie and uncle for money. They gave it to me. But of course, we have to go in the room and talk about everything in the office and stuff. And my kids, I told her dad what happened. And he was like, yeah, your mama slept with her uncle for money. I didn't do that. And so there was a lot of things that that my kids told me on how he felt about me, that I knew he never loved me.
Wow.
And so can you imagine staying in a relationship with somebody for that long until I started to get so depressed and started to make bad choices? This is how you've been feeling about me. This is why you didn't show up and act as a husband to me anyway.
Because you felt like you didn't see me like that.
Yeah. You stayed with me because I had kids with you. That's what I think. It was nothing other than that. You could have left me. You could have left. Then we would have never went through this cycle. If you really never loved anything, he didn't.
So then it was almost like a tit for tat. But it was still like not planned.
No.
Right? Again, we had all of these circumstances that were there.
And I'll tell you, the more he did what he did, my husband tormented me. So it's like, I forget one day, at this point I had moved. This was when Harvey. And I said, you can't come here. I'm done. I don't want to go through this with you anymore. And at this point, this is when I found out the girl was supposed to be pregnant, and she sent me naked pictures of them at the hotel and all this other stuff. So I was like, hey, fuck it. You're cheating, I'm cheating. We're both not on the same page anymore. Let's just be fucking done. At this point, I mean, shit, what else was? I'm already broken. I'm broken. There's nothing else you can do to me anymore that I ain't already done to myself. Because now I'm acting off hurt. It don't matter. It don't matter. I'm gonna hurt every other fucking man that I come across. I'm gonna hurt all you motherfuckers because all y'all like him. So I got screwed around with this motherfucker telling me a dream. I should have known better. And the first thing a man want to say is, oh, y'all women weak, y'all weak, y'all weak, y'all weak, y'all weak. That's why y'all cheat. It don't have nothing about being a woman being weak. Women are emotional. It takes a lot for a woman to cheat. It's not something you just wake up and, oh, I'm gonna go cheat. Let me go see such, see what I can do. No. But let me get to my point. Their dad came over. My ex came over because we were living separate. He's like, I need to take a bath. Come on. Comes, gets dressed. He didn't have to come take a bath. I was just like, whatever, come on. Take a bath, get dressed. He had a big ass bottle of champagne. He gets dressed, all GQ like I told you he used to do. Had the bottle of wine in his hand. All right. Good. Gonna go with the bottle of wine in his hand. I already think about it. He did this to me so much. I already know you're gonna go to some girl house, gonna do your thing, and throw it in my face. That's not doing anything to be making me more depressed and gonna make me go. It takes a lot for a woman to cheat. It's not something you just wake up and, oh, I'm gonna go cheat. Let me go see such, see what I can do. No. But let me get to my point. Their dad came over. My ex came over because we were living separate. He's like, I need to take a bath. Come on. Comes, gets dressed. He He didn't have to come take a bath. I was just like, whatever, come on. Take a bath, get dressed. He had a big ass bottle of champagne. He gets dressed, all GQ like I told you he used to do. Had the bottle of wine in his hand. All right. And then go the bottle of wine in his hand. I already think about it. He did this to me so much. I already know what you're gonna go to some girl house, gonna do your thing, and throw it in my face. That's not doing anything to be making me more depressed and gonna make me go do some fucked up shit again. So let's stop tormenting each other. Because you're not gonna bow down, and I'm not gonna bow down. Because people can make it through through cheating. They can. They can come together and leave everybody out of their marriage and sit down and say, listen, this is what you wasn't doing for me. This is what I wasn't doing for you. Mm-hmm. I love you enough to make this work if we can do this together. We didn't have that opportunity because he never loved me in the first place. I loved him, gave him all of me, and he shitted on it. You know how I feel? Have you shitted on? It's not a good feeling. Makes you feel to be with somebody who don't see you for who you are. And don't see the potential in you that you can work together to try to rebuild. But instead, you put your family in our marital issues, which I did too. I called his mom and sister before, you know. But his ego didn't let him say, you know what, I fucked up, I'm sorry. I said I was sorry plenty of times. You think he did that to me? No. Never said sorry. Even to this day, I take care of his kids by myself. He's not living his best single father, single daddy life. Single man, whatever the fuck life. When I had to rebuild my relationship with my children because of the shit you put them in.
How? So was the divorce, was it mutual? Did you both agree to get a divorce?
I filed for a divorce. You did not sign no papers.
Okay, so you filed.
Yes.
And signed.
And then at that point, I didn't know, I knew where he was. I gave him the address, but he went to jail for something. And I told them they needed to go ahead and put it as non-contest and do it now. I'm done.
Gotcha.
So it was my doing.
It was your doing.
Because I don't want to play this game no more. It's hard. I gave them. Now, mind you, this happened in 2017, 2018. 2018, 2019, I mean, I was still talking to people. You know what I'm saying? He was doing his own thing, you know. But had he came and said, listen, let's stop the shit and let's do this the right way and let's get our family out of the way and let's not involve nobody, I would have did that. I waited for him to get it right. I'll never forget. It was 2 instances where he called. He says, I'm cooking, y'all come over. Me and the kids went over there. We ate, we all laughed, we talked. It didn't feel right. He tried twice. No, he tried once. Tried once. And we were living in separate apartments. And he cooked, we ate. I didn't feel it. I ain't feel no love or nothing at that time. And then second time, as I called him, at like 1 o'clock in the morning, I went over there. Left the kids at home. Went over there. We had sex. I cried after. Told him, get off me, get off me, get off me. Ran out, crying, went back home. I don't know why I did that. I don't know if I needed validation or to see like if maybe he'd be like, you know what, I want my family back. None of that. None of that.
But you aren't okay.
No. Mentally, no. Because it was like, even if I went back to you, you're still the same person. You haven't looked at yourself and changed. Not one bit. I've made mistakes. That's why I'm sitting here with you telling my story, so that way people who are in the same predicament that I was once in, not to make the same mistake. Because the only hurt don't come from it in the end.
So let me take it back really on that. So the affair ended up with you choosing to get divorced. There, you had to rebuild and repair a relationship with your children.
Yes.
And what happened to the lover? Like, what happened to the person you were in the affair with?
I started to see him for his true colors. Same shit talker, same shit. And then I told him one day, I want you to never call me. I am dead to you. I don't give a fuck if you used to see me on the street. Act like as if you never knew me. And I'll do the same.
Gotcha. So I'm assuming that he ended up being a liar.
Yes. Okay. A liar. Cheated.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying?
So he cheated on you.
Cheated, yeah. Yeah, cheated. Yeah. It was same shit. Same shit.
So basically, wait, let me make sure I got this. You ended up having an affair with somebody who was similar to your ex-husband.
Yeah. 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 And at that point, I asked God, I said, I need help. And I got down on my stomach in my closet. And I was screaming and I was crying. And I said, I'm tired. I cannot do this no more. The devil came in. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. The man is stronger. The woman is a weaker vessel for the Bible, right? The blessings come through the husband. Husbands, love your wife as God loved the church. Yeah. And why did it affect the husband? He didn't do that. My husband did not do that. So it gave the devil all of the opportunity to come in. He played on me. He did exactly what he set out to do. I'm 42 now. And I look back at it and I've apologized. I've talked to my kids about it. They know everything. When I say everything, everything. I did not leave out not one detail. Because I had to tell them all the things that I went through as to why I did what I did. It is not something that I just woke up and said I was going to do. I was mentally depressed. I was in a very dark place. And in that darkness, that is what I chose to do.
If you could do it again, what would you do differently, if anything?
I wouldn't have cheated. I wouldn't have done any of that. I probably would have gotten a divorce. off the rip. And I would have been, you're not doing what I need you to do. Let's just not do this anymore.
Gotcha.
Let's just try to work together as co-parents the right way. I want you to be happy. I want to be happy. That's what I probably would have did. Yeah. I think looking back at it now and the person that I am now, I've made a lot of changes. I've grown a lot. I am not shameful for what I've done. I talk about it very openly. I don't care of nobody else's opinion because it was my life and I had to live it. I wish that things would have been different. I wish that the outcome would have been, listen, fuck our family. This is what's important. But we were not important to him like that. Because if we were, you would have fought. And he didn't fight.
So what would be, and I know we got to wrap up. Thank you for sharing all of this. Thank you. Because this is hard. And it's still very emotional for you.
Yeah, it's very emotional.
Very evocative for you.
Can.
What would be one bit of advice that you would have for anybody, any gender, that's contemplating an affair? What would be your advice? You gotta have give them one nugget. What would it be?
I mean, they need to talk to someone. Be open to. We all have feelings. Our feelings are important.
Yes, they are.
We matter. So if it's something that is not being fulfilled that we need, you need to vocalize it. And sometimes that may be hard for your spouse to hear, but you got to vocalize it. And if their actions don't show you what you're needing, that's your confirmation. That is your confirmation.
That this might not be my person.
No. Exactly. Yeah.
I respect that. So in essence, don't wait around too long for the idea of this person to come to fruition, but believe who they tell you that they are.
Yeah.
And if that means that the relationship ends, and you have to go through that fire and let it burn.
Yeah.
I try to quote Usher, but right.
It's not easy. It's not easy. No, depression, it's nothing to play with.
No, it's not.
I've been in some very dark places. Very dark. Mm-hmm. I tried to kill myself dark.
You felt that lonely?
And I didn't have nobody to talk to. Nobody. He didn't see. He didn't see me falling into this dark hole. That's supposed to be your person. Y'all supposed, when you marry, y'all become one. If your person, if something is wrong with your person, you need to know it. You gotta see how they change it. Like, what's going on with you? What can I do for you? Mm-hmm. Talk to me. No judgment. He didn't do that for me. He let me fall. And I know people are like, "How? That's your part. You should you're your own person." Yeah, I am my own person. But a woman leans on her husband. Yeah. And when you're in a depression, you can't help yourself. You just keep falling. Somebody got to grab your hand and help you pull you up out of it. You think I had a hand to come help me pull me up? 2017 to 2019 was the worst years of my life. And if I could done it differently, I would. I wish I could have, be like the couples who are probably going through this and they both come out gracefully.
Yeah, because it's possible.
I would have loved that to be him and I.
Yeah.
But I'm not his boy. I'm sure he'll find it. He'll find his one. Just what's in me. I'm okay with that. Yeah. So I hope that this can help somebody, because if you go through it, you'll be living in pain for the rest of your life. It's not fun. No. It's not worth it. Not worth it. Not worth it. Oh, welcome.
I know this is hard for you to talk about. It's kicking up a lot of stuff. So, what are you gonna do to take care of you?
Well, I've been doing therapy.
Yay.
And
Yay.
I think that I've grown since then. I mean, we're in 2014 now.
Yeah.
And I've learned. Definitely got wiser. And definitely won't be making none of those mistakes no more.
Right. Okay.
Being vocal and just telling people how you really feel, and telling people you're not doing this for me. It's not gonna work.
Mm-hmm.
But you're moving like this, whatever you need to be moving like this, or what's going on,
So being in your truth.
Yeah.
Being in your authentic self.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And knowing that my feelings matter. For years, I didn't know that my feelings matter. I just put my feelings on the back burner. But now, my feelings matter. So if you are not saying what if you're doing something that's impacting my feelings, I'm gonna let you go. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
You don't get that side of me no more.
Yeah.
And talk to you later.
I received that. All right. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for sharing. And I hope that, your story helps somebody make a different decision.
I hope so too. It's not worth it.
Yeah. So thank you.